Chapter 4. The Beloved. Oto-Mani called to Diodi as his lover sat pensively staring at a stack of parchments out on the royal bedroom balcony. Worry lined Diodi's face. "Muzi, I did not mean to wake you. But something is wrong with these figures from the royal treasury. See here." Oto-Mani sat next to Diodi and hugged him tightly to glance at the object of Diodi's concern. They both were scantily clad in white linen and appreciated the cool breeze of the evening upon their slightly moist skin. After sumptuous moments of lovemaking, Diodi could not contain his anxiety. "These numbers just do not make any sense, beloved. I believe Lord Ko-Toure is hiding something from you." Oto-Mani impishly grinned. "Okay, I'll dismiss him and immediately put him on trial." Diodi lightly elbowed him in aggravation. "I'm dead serious, Muzi. Stop playing. You know Ko-Toure is politically useful to you, even though he is devious. But as your chief steward, I will not let you be misinformed. Yes, I love that you are always looking out for me and for the interest of my realm. But can we talk about this later? I have to protect you, Muzi, because there are far too many." Oto-Mani cut him off and tugged at the papers in Diodi's hand. "OD, please. Please, babe. Why do we have to worry about this now? Can we have just a few hours not to worry about the problems of my realm? Please, come back to bed." Diodi saw the earnest pleading in Oto-Mani's handsome face. He relented. He took Oto-Mani's hand and led him back into the royal bedchamber. The royal papers were flung aside. If it is possible to consume another person's body without actually eating them, Diodi was going to consume the body of his lover, Oto-Mani. Every sweet, eager kiss only fanned a hotter flame, a deeper hunger, as they each whimpered with desire from the inability to not satiate the passions thrumming in their chests and in their loins. Off went their cloths. Climbing into the bed, the solid mass of one man's body tumbled and entwined with the other man's body in an arousing fury of union. Diodi traced the curvature and divide of Oto-Mani's back and generous buttocks, and felt an unctuous inferno wherever their pores touched. When he was not being consumed, Oto-Mani gnawed ravenously on the ears, lips, neck, collarbone, nipples, belly, and underworld places of Diodi, and was rewarded by a boyish giggle or a manly gasp. Sheens of perspiration sparkled on their foreheads and brawny torsos to testify that this indeed was the labor of love. This was the play before they ascended to even deeper erotic wonders. Very far from the royal bedchamber, in a unique suite of palace chambers, High Lord Ko-Toure was conferring with his aides and secretaries. He knew his sovereign at that very moment was committing unthinkable sin with his half-breed pet, Diodi. Why else was he given instructions not to disturb them? But Ko-Toure was a veteran practitioner of the art of wise ignorance. Pretend not to know while planting spies to record every detail. While his master played, Ko-Toure worked. He counseled his aides and secretaries as to how to answer the petitions and letters flooding into the palace from angry slave owners and traders who the monarch's proclamation had financially ruined. Tell them that the sovereign is considering a means to compensate them for their loss. A surprised secretary asked, "Is that true, Lord Ko-Toure?" Ko-Toure replied hotly to what he saw as a brazenly ignorant question.
"It is true, boy, because the first minister of the sovereign said it is true."
"Yes, my lord." The secretary winced.
"When you hear me speak, the sovereign speaks. I know his intent."
"Yes, my lord," the young man said, careful with his tone so to not sound annoyed by Ko-Toure's overemphasis. In another suite of chambers, not far from the first minister's chambers, but overlooking the royal guard barracks and parade grounds, the supreme commander of the monarch's legions, General Usha-Lata, paced the floor deep in thought. When the realm needed a heroic commander to lead its troops into battle in times of insurrection or war, it called upon Usha-Lata, the seventh son of Lord Yom-Nana, first minister to the High Lord of Awa province. Usha-Lata grew up as the runt of his family who was bullied constantly. Tired of the bullying, Usha-Lata asked the master of swords to train him in the martial arts so to gain warfare acumen and to add muscularity to his physique. He became so proficient and fascinated by the ways of war that he enrolled in the Royal Military Academy, joined the monarch's legions, and rose up through the ranks due to his valor in several campaigns of the day. Under Oto-Mani the tyrant and his heir, Oto-Mani the blind, Usha-Lata distinguished himself as a fearless and brilliant battlefield commander. Aduma soldiers adored him because he treated them with unfailing respect. Publicly, he was Usha-Lata, hero of the realm, but privately, Usha-Lata reviled the house of Oto-Kanza. He believed that they had held an iron grip on the fire realm for far too long. They had oppressed the Aduma, selfishly claimed a monopoly over the fire gold mines, and ruled the realm unwisely, unjustly, or both. Mother Oto-Ma could not be pleased with the most recent Oto-Kanza rulers. An aide respectfully knocked and then entered the general's chamber. "Lord General," he tiptoed in. "Do you want entertainment this evening?" A hint of emphasis was upon the word entertainment, firing the man a look of wrinkled-nosed disgust as if he was unapologetically flatulent in a temple. Usha-Lata snapped.
"Don't you see that your commander is deep in thought, soldier? I've no time for frolic tonight."
"Yes, sir." The man snapped a salute and rapidly exited. But Usha-Lata was not thinking of troop allocations, supply distributions, or quarter mastery accounts. He was thinking about Diodi. Ever since he, as a young commander in the Monarch's house guard, encountered the fetchingly beautiful Diodi, he was dumbstruck. Diodi's inviting amber eyes, softly chiseled arms, gorgeous face, and charming masculine swagger enchanted Usha-Lata. Usha-Lata fought to maintain his professional composure in the presence of this so-called half-breed, who for some reason was a close confidant of the second in line to the throne. Usha-Lata was supremely aware of the rumor that Diodi and Prince Jamuzi were lovers. Once when stopping Diodi in one of the palace's many alcoves, Usha-Lata could not contain his feelings any longer. He grabbed Diodi's hand and then grabbed him around his waist. Diodi first tried to wrench away, but then Usha-Lata clutched Diodi's groin with one hand and one of his buttocks with the other, while trying to violently plant a kiss. Clearly, Usha-Lata's intent was to seize by force what he thought was a hero's prize.
"Do not resist me. I desire you, and you will find much greater joy and comfort in my bed than you could possibly find in the bed of your master. No, don't."
Diodi desperately struggled against Usha-Lata's iron grip, fearful of crying out, but not wanting this lech to conquer him like some war prize. However, when Usha-Lata further pressed his lips to Diodi's, while his hand reached under Diodi's robes to further invade the crevice of his buttocks, Diodi, with all of his strength, pushed Usha-Lata away and struck the commander squarely in his mouth, bloodying his lip. Usha-Lata reeled backwards and, grabbing for something to steady his balance, clutched and snatched off Diodi's beige cloth wrap that covered Diodi's upper torso. Freshly recalling the rape of his mother, Diodi snarled,
"Mother damn you! I will slit your throat if you ever try that again,"
and stormed away bare-chested, too terrified to care he was bare-chested. Usha-Lata was startled by the ferocity of his own desire for Diodi and knew it unwise to pursue him. He reasoned that at least he had Diodi's wrap as a so-called prize. Quickly putting on another wrap, Diodi never disclosed this terrible violation to Oto-Mani or to anyone. Usha-Lata pretended as though it never happened and buried himself in his work and in the behinds of enslaved men of the palace. Once again, the lovemaking between Oto-Mani and Diodi was glorious. They were rapturously spent. Oto-Mani cupped Diodi's chin gently in his hand and peered into eyes glistening ever so faintly with bliss. Diodi mouthed the words, "I love you," and Oto-Mani wiped away the smallest tear from Diodi's eye and was rewarded with a fragile kiss upon his hand. Little did Oto-Mani know this tear flowed as much from Diodi, remembering the pain of Usha-Lata's violation many years ago, as it flowed from Oto-Mani's tender love. All the same, their breaths mingled as their lips repeatedly met, pliant, fleshy, eager kisses that spoke volumes about passion and devotion. Just like the days of long ago when, as teenage lovers, they secretly stole away to kiss behind ornate palace doors or royal garden alcoves. This was just one more time they choreographed around court demands or painful memories for a stolen moment of lovers' ecstasy. They especially loved water, and it was a palace pool solarium where they had their first, more than a kiss, experience as teens. So, ever since that time in the pool, their love had to swim against the great tides of the Rakanan court.
Now, good people, please like, comment, and subscribe to catch the next thrilling episode of Red Circles of Fire.